On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
That give us those characteristics as a woman, it's built in us. So it's not conditional, it's innate. And that's what you are. The issue is when we become and we're trying to be something that we're not ordained to be. And that means that we're out of order. And we can see our community is out of order because we're fighting what God created us to be. That pink is us.
So I'm not negating anything that you're saying. What my argument was to the question, which was, can they coexist? And then he brought up this list and saying you can only be one thing on the list. So that's where I disagree, because I think that they can coexist, as I think that any person can possess the qualities on both sides of the list. So it had nothing to do with like trying to categorize or do anything like that. It was like just answering the question for me.
Explain what the wigs had to do with the conversation.
You the sign language king, bro. You better chill your pussy ass out, cause I'm the right one to smoke your ass, nigga. Like I said, go ahead, hey, nigga,
bro,
you fucking the right one. I listen. I'm analytical and I'm logical.
And
I listen to what you said, and I took your talking point and I just slammed your pussy ass on it. So
go ahead, bro. You feminine.
Can I say something about this list y'all been going on?
You fading out in black is feminine. That's what do women do? Like, you know what? Let me out. Take me home. That's what women do. You keep fading in the black like a goddamn woman. What the fuck you doing?
So if you don't know, if you don't know,
like a damn woman.
If you don't know, I guarantee you this. If you was in Atlanta, you would have said that to my face, because I would have slapped.
Oh, okay. Why I gotta go there?
I promise you that.
Okay, why?
I promise you that. So me fading the black. That's my Lapeef gimmick. I'm gonna play it on your pussy right
now.
Relax, Quest.
Can I say something? I feel like people are.
No, we good. We are. It's good. We be
too deep into this.
4,000 super chats in here.
Hold on, Quest.
I'll read them quickly, Quest, but I feel like we are nitpicking at this list too much. If you look at the list, right, as a woman, we're supposed to be feminine. As a man, they're supposed to be masculine. Why are we nitpicking and saying, oh, but a man can be feminine, a woman can be masculine? Like, we're nitpicking it too much, and we're not looking at what's supposed to be realistic, right? As a woman, we're supposed to be feminine, and all the list on that side, that pink side, that's what a woman is supposed to have, right? So I feel like we nitpick.
But some of these dudes, one of these dudes are feminine and not the women.
I mean, a lot of y'all been showing feminine traits, but the list is the list.
Let me chime in, because I think a question that I had with just watching it for a few minutes was, why are women battling the list that literally is everything saying nurturing, kind, sweet, gentle? So the real question is, why in the world would you want to fight characteristics of greatness? That's the real question. Why do you want to debate or not be considered or have characteristics of a feminine woman, which entails nice, sweet, caring, nurturing, compassionate? Why fight that?
Can I answer that question, Courtney?
No. Let Andrea.
I would like the women.
Okay.
That was I don't think that was the question. None of us was denying that.
No, we're asking a new question to y'all who is battling against the list.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Wait. Let's do this.
Came in starting.
Hold on, fellas.
Yelling about the list, like
hold on.
It's for the ladies, nigga.
Okay, I know. So let me quarterback it really quickly. So Courtney is asking the question to the women, correct, Courtney?
Correct.
Andrea, I seen you had a reaction to it. Can you respond to what Courtney was saying?
No, not really. I feel like she's a pick-me, and so I feel like anything that she says out her mouth is going to be very pick-me-ish. So I'm just going to do my best. And that's shit in Atlanta. Yeah, I heard you, girl.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I think I've had this conversation with you before, as far as with me debating and even spending my time with someone. Like, your character proves otherwise, where it really doesn't make sense to spend energy on that. So I'm not. we see that you're not holding the characteristics of that for whatever reason, and trauma is probably something deeper. So besides you, Siobhan, Q, I know that you kind of agree with it. Kayla or Kay, why is it debatable, or why is it a negative connotation to be associated with characteristics of a feminine woman?
It's not negative in terms of like the connotations. My whole argument was that any person can or cannot have these qualities. So like Logic has been doing a lot of the pink side stuff all night, but I wouldn't call him a feminine man. Like he's a man. I mean, he's just doing certain stuff in certain situations. That was my argument, that it doesn't matter if you're any gender, anyone can display these qualities. I wasn't saying like, oh my goodness, like I don't want to be associated with, it wasn't that. It's just that anyone can display those qualities.
I said consistently, and that's why you wouldn't, because it's not consistent of his character. That's why I wanted to make sure I said that specifically.
It's
if
not.
If Logic was doing that,
he does it every Thursday.
He does it every week.
Hold on. If he lived his life like this, everywhere you went with him, on the show, outside the show, and all these different things, if he was like that stuff on the pink side, you would be like, this is a feminine nigga. But y'all know he's not like that everywhere. There are times when, like I said in my example, where I am gentle, I am some of these things that's on the pink side, right? But I don't live consistently on that side. Therefore, you can't call me a feminine ass nigga, bro.
Okay,
but let's just say Quest he did. It doesn't negate the validity of the list. It doesn't negate it. So if he did or not, trying to use another man as an anecdote of why this and why that, that's just one man, but it doesn't negate the list. I think the list is absolutely factual, and it's factual because it also represents our DNA, how we're made of. If you have estrogen, that's proven that estrogen is going to give you more feminine traits. If you have testosterone, it's going to give you more masculine traits. If you got more testosterone as a woman, you're going to start looking more masculine. So those traits that give us those characteristics as a woman, it's built in us. So it's not conditional, it's innate. And that's what you are. The issue is when we become and we're trying to be something that we're not ordained to be. And that means that we're out of order. And we can see our community is out of order because we're fighting what God created us to be. That pink is us.
So I'm not negating anything that you're saying. What my argument was to the question, which was, can they coexist? And then he brought up this list and saying you can only be one thing on the list. So that's where I disagree, because I think that they can coexist, as I think that any person can possess the qualities on both sides of the list. So it had nothing to do with like trying to categorize or do anything like that. It was like just answering the question.